We'd like you to join the conversation about all this on our website, WSA9.com. Maybe it's one of our hottest topics. Now, one religious leader who almost certainly does not want an exemption is Pastor Kenneth Blanchard. He's from the historic Berean Baptist Church in Northeast D.C. He spoke at the National Press Club last week, and he said God expects people to protect their loved ones using deadly force if necessary. Pastor Blanchard's right here with us in the studio. We're glad to have you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for the invitation.
Now, your own website describes you as a gun rights ambassador. I wonder what that means.
When I first started in 1992, I wanted to be the resource for the community to help people get firearm safety and education. I found out that my community didn't really know about gun rights, about gun anything, and I had to start from scratch. And I had to learn a lot about history. And when I got into the history, I started talking to a lot of people from all over the place. And next thing I know, I was the one that crossed all the lines. There's like about 20 big gun groups in the world. They might not talk to each other, but they talk to me. So I was able to go to places where guys look like the folks from the ZZ Top. I mean, they got the long beards, and they love me. It's just the weirdest thing in the world.
Okay, but wait a second. You're a pastor, and I think a lot of folks say, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be about turning the other cheek? How does that go with being a firearms proponent?
You also have to go where you can go. And God has made me special is that being a veteran, a former law enforcement officer, I've been in harm's way before. I can talk the talk. I've been with bikers. I've been with the hunters and the shooters. And this group of people, it's a big community, also needs a pastor. And I talk to them a lot.
Now, your church is in Northeast Washington, D.C., which has some of the toughest gun laws around. How do you balance that?
That one is funny. Every time I make an appearance like this, they all cover their heads because it's the biggest controversy in our church alone. I'm probably the only Republican in the church. I'm probably the only gun owner in the church. I live in Maryland. Church is in D.C.
So you own guns at your house, but you don't bring them into the city.
So there's a conflict where the elders say, well, don't talk about guns in here. We won't talk about, I don't know, whatever out there. So it's kind of a love-hate thing.
Okay, what's your message then to a country that 61%, according to a new NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, favor stricter gun laws, especially in light of what's been happening lately?
Unfortunately, we're doing a knee-jerk reaction to events. We've always had violence. There's always been trouble. And what we've done now is actually give power to politicians. We've said, help us, fix this, make it go away. And you can't legislate human behavior. You can't fix crazy.
So is it your take that even background checks, any effort to make it tougher to get a gun, wouldn't help?
Because we already have it. I mean, we have it. If you, right now in Maryland, you fill out about 11 by 17 sheets of paper like you're buying a mortgage for a house to buy a handgun. They know more about you than your neighbors. The gun people that I hang around with are more trustworthy than some of the cousins that I got.
All right. So what's your plan for dealing with the situation?
My plan right now is just to take care of the people who are up in arms. They're hurting. They're afraid of the country, and be a pastor to actually spread the word that these are not crazy people. These are your neighbors that you've been trusted for 20 years. They just also hunt and shoot recreationally.
All right, Pastor Blanchard, maybe you can cross some of those bridges you mentioned, some of those lines that keep people from at least talking to each other about this important issue. Thank you so much for talking with us about it today.
Thanks for having me here.
All right. Well, coming up a little later on, we've got